To the people we shine, giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Yeah. Ride along live. Welcome to the ride. It's Thursday on the ride. Yeah. Welcome to Thursday on the ride, guys. And I'm sorry I'm 6 minutes late. Don't like to be late. Really pisses me off when I'm late. So I don't like to be late. I get that. Yeah, I get that eerie feeling, guys. But we just came out from an amazing event where we did some shuttle over for the GCNA. All right, so we was back and forth, and the event was running a little bit late, and then so it kind of caused me to be a little bit late. But nonetheless, we are here. Share the program, and not just share the program. I want you to tag @followers, because it is as important for everyone who saw the first segment, the first interview that was on Tuesday, I believe. It's important. It's as important that everyone that saw this interview watched tonight's program. It's going to be a little bit abbreviated because Mr. Authur Pierre, who is going to be joining me today, who is the supervisor of election, he can't stay the whole hour. But there was some necessary correction that Mr. Authur Pierre felt that he needed to make, and I really appreciate that, because this has been a conversation piece for the past couple of days. Yesterday, we dived in a little bit. We had Kim Jones and Ian Django Thomas. They was giving their point of view and on it. But I really appreciate a man who, like Mr. Authur Pierre, who decided to come back. Right? I'm not sure exactly where the clarification is, but he is going to speak to us today on all of this. And I really appreciate that from Mr. Authur Pierre, because a lot of people would not come back right? But he did. So we need to give that man a lot of respect for doing that. Without further ado, guys, I'm not going to waste much time because we don't have a lot of time with Mr. Authur Pierre. He has a lot of business to conduct. Let's welcome him back on the platform, unmute his mic. Mr. Authur Pierre, sir, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sheltering between the raindrops, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
But I'm good. I'm good. I'm very well.
I heard a little hesitation there a bit. I don't know why there was a hesitation.
So we will clarify that later on down the road. We're here for clarification. That's it.
Yeah, it's called clarification.
Yeah.
It's called clarification. As I said, I
Yeah.
have newfound respect for you, sir.
Yeah.
Because,
Let me say
yeah, right.
this up
Yeah,
front.
yes.
I don't shy away, especially if mistakes are made. I created more confusion than I tried to solve. So my thing is not to shy away and feel I'm too big or too proud not to come back and say anything. I think the Grenadian public deserves the respect that I have to give. I am a Grenadian, and I certainly will live up to ensuring that they at least get some clarification. I really hope that the presentation that I would make today will actually bring some clarification. But further to that, I have decided to embark upon a education campaign, not with me, but certainly with other staff members and persons who we may invite from outside, to really and truly dive deeper into the things of elections. All right.
Okay.
So this is just the first part, and I'm really really happy to be here.
Okay, good, good. So I'm going to give you all the time you need. I won't cut you. And after, then I will ask questions based on your presentation. So go right ahead, sir. You have my full
So
attention.
good. So first of all, let me apologize for last evening's mix-up. Okay, first and foremost. Let me apologize for the confusion that I may have caused, okay, and some incorrect statements that I may have made. All right, so I want to clear that first and foremost. Secondly, the law that we were quoting was the 1993 law that was amended. The part that I quoted from, that was amended in 2006. Okay, so the amended law is the law that we needed to focus on. Let me just say that up front. All right. So I would like to read the law. I would not make the error to interpret the law. Okay. I'm just here to just present the law as is, so you can hear for yourself. And I would advise that go and search for it online. Okay, get a copy of it, look for it, and you can read it for yourself. All
Is
right,
this the
Junior.
same one here? Is this the same one here you're going to be reading so I could put it up as well? Is that the same thing?
And where is that taken from?
That is taken from the rights, the same.
No. Which law? What year?
That I believe is, I'm not sure, but go ahead.
Right.
Go
So
ahead.
what I see there just might be 1993.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we are looking at 2006.
All right.
2006. The
And
same
so,
the same part three.
uh-huh.
2006.
Okay.
Let me read. Registration of electors and related matters. Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the right of electors to vote. Subject to this act, a person is entitled to vote as an elector in an election in a constituency if on polling day he's qualified to be an elector for that constituency and is on that day registered in the current list to be used at that election. Okay? Part 2. A person is not entitled to vote as an elector at an election in a constituency unless he is registered in the current list to be used at that election in that constituency. Okay, I know that there was a question stated or asked the last time about constituency. Whenever you are registered in a constituency, and when you go to vote in a constituency. Okay.
Okay.
Right, so I just want to make that clear. Qualification for registration. Now there are 3 sections that deals with qualification, disqualification, and maintaining the right to be registered or maintaining registration. So those are the 3 areas that we want to talk about and focusing on. All right, so let me start for qualification of registration. Subject to section 7, any person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he, A, is a citizen of Grenada, semicolon, not full stop, semicolon. Okay? Or is a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration. Now, what I got mixed up with and my interpretation led me wrong is to say that Grenadians, citizens of Grenada have to spend 12 months here for registration, for the registration purposes. Okay, so let us get that clear. This is for Commonwealth citizens.
Right. So
Right.
just for clarification, hold on. Sorry to cut you there, but just for clarification, are you saying now that citizens of Grenada, with that established this, citizens of Grenada do not need to be here 12 months prior?
Well, I don't want to preempt anything. I want to read the whole thing because when we see semicolon, it means that there are other qualifying factors.
Okay.
Right? We can't just take it in isolation. We must look at other qualifying factors. So let me just read the whole thing and then right. So B, Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of registration. C, has attained the age of 18 years. And D, is ordinarily resident in that constituency. Okay, is ordinarily resident in that constituency. For the purpose of registration under this act and the rules, a person is deemed subject to this act to reside in the polling division in which he is ordinarily resident immediately prior to his registration. Now, 3, a person is not ordinarily resident in a polling division if he has taken up residence in that polling division for the purpose of engaging in any employment of a temporary or seasonal character. Number 4, for the purpose of registration under this act and the rules, a person may be ordinarily resident only in one polling division at any particular time. Okay? Right. So we look at now, I wouldn't go through the disqualification of electors because it talks about persons who are in prison, persons who are incarcerated, and so forth and so forth. Right. So let us look the right to remain registered. Every person registered as an elector pursuant to this part shall remain registered unless and until his name is deleted from the current list because in the opinion of the supervisor of election, it appears that since the publication of the current list, he has A, died, semicolon, B, left Grenada and has not been ordinarily resident in the constituency for a period exceeding 12 months, not being a citizen of Grenada. So you're looking at maybe, I don't want to interpret, let me just leave it this still. Okay? C, ceased to be ordinarily resident in Grenada for a period exceeding 5 years being a citizen of Grenada. D, become ordinarily resident in another constituency. E, had an objection to his registration allowed. Or F, otherwise ceased to be qualified by the virtue of this act or any other law. All right, so I would stop here.
Okay. All right. So let's go back a bit, right? Because it changes a lot of things based on what we was said in the last program.
Yes.
So where it says, subject to Section 7, a person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he, A, is a citizen of Grenada, semicolon, or, and he went on to state the or.
Right.
So I want to make this abundantly clear. Are we saying that any Grenadian citizen is eligible to register whether they are here for the 12 months period prior to the registration? Yes?
Right. Now, summarily, this is what I would say. Right? This is what I would say. If you are a Grenadian, you can, or a citizen, let me not just say Grenadian. If you are a citizen of Grenada, right, you have all the documentation to prove that you are a citizen. You want to be registered? First and foremost, you need to be here to be registered.
Okay.
You come with your documentation and your proof that you are an eligible voter. What the office is entitled to do is to accept your documentation and to go ahead and register you.
Okay.
Right? Now, if there are circumstances that first and foremost, there are circumstances that would dictate how you get on the electoral list. And if those circumstances, when we look at them and we examine them, poses a problem, one, we would first and foremost send that back to the electoral office that you got registered in and said, look, we need additional information, we need some clarification, etc., etc. And what your responsibility is either to provide that information. Okay? Right. Now, let's say that you ended up on the list. You were placed on the list, you are placed on the electoral list. When that list is published, and that list is, the addendum to that list is published every 3 months. When that list is published, there are persons that will go through the list. And they have the right within a 7-day period to make objections to your name being there. All right? When those objections are raised, then we would do whatever we can to clear up those issues. So again, that is basically what it is.
Okay. So based on the first interpretation, approximately how many people was disenfranchised? Because you being at the helm, of course, this interpretation might trickle down to those under you. So how many, or were there people disenfranchised by your initial interpretation?
No. I didn't have anybody disenfranchised from that. In fact, there are persons that we said, look, we need additional information, we need some clarification. They provided it, and they were registered.
Right.
Okay, they were registered.
So there
So there are persons that said, oh, they might have. In fact, I could recall there was one lady that called some months ago and said, look, I have my citizenship certificate. I've been here. I said, but we did not, from the information in front of me, I could not determine that. So what you need to do is go back to your electoral office and give them that information. So when it comes to my desk, I can do whatever I can do. All right?
right, right.
Yeah.
So we had someone who claimed, and that came from other reports, right? Who claimed that they went into the electoral office to get registered, and they was told that you needed to be here for 6 months prior.
I can't. Go ahead.
Right. And that person, I believe, even Kim spoke about it yesterday in while he was on the program, and he is accompanying that young lady back to the electoral office. I think it's
You're
today or
breaking up a little bit.
sorry, sorry. What he was saying is that the young lady came to him stating that she was unable to register because he was telling her about that same 12 months thing, and they did not register her. And so
Okay.
he is going back to the registration office with her, I believe, either today or Friday, so that she could get registered because someone in your office told her the same thing that you told us on Tuesday. So it was
Right.
interpreted by someone else the same way how you interpreted it or interpreted it
The last time.
the last time. Yes.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So, but the thing is that we are the new law. All right.
Uh-huh.
This is the law that has been amended. That is what we're going by. All right.
Right. Right.
But I have never had the case where I just flatly turned on somebody. But there were persons, for example, Commonwealth citizens, right? And there is a Commonwealth oath that has to be filled and signed by a GP, okay? That they were, I have been here for X amount of time, okay? There are times, for example, there's one that said that they were here for 1 year. Okay. And we asked for additional information. They gave us their passport when they came in, etc., etc. And we were able to register that person.
Right. So I just want to make this abundantly clear again. If someone is in a Grenadian living in the diaspora at any point in time, and they have the credential, the birth certificate, all the credential that is required, they could come in and register at any time.
Right. So they can come in and register at any time.
No problem. So that all change a lot, eh?
That all certainly changed a lot, but let us also understand that it is not a full stop. It's not just because you are a Grenadian citizen. There are other qualifying factors. For example, age. If we had a full stop at a Grenadian citizen, and we did not specify age, it means that I could get a 12-year-old boy to come and register to be on the list. Okay, I could get somebody 16 years to come and register to be on the electoral list. All right, but it is all, we have to look at the whole thing together. We must look at the definition in its entirety. All right, and understand that all of that is what would contribute towards you being allowed to register.
I heard some members of the opposition saying the same thing, and the interpretation was similar to your interpretation the last time as well. Are they getting it wrong? Are they wrong for interpreting it the way that they
What
are?
I would say is that we have to look at what the law says. Okay, and the law will determine whether you're right or whether you're wrong. And again, I was wrong because I was looking at the other law, and I was mixing up what is required for a Commonwealth citizen as in contrast to what is required for a citizen of Grenada.
So are you saying
Okay.
that this law changed in 1993 and
This is a 1993 law that was written in 1993, and the amended law is a 2006 Act number 19 that deals specifically with the registration of electors.
right? What I'm saying is that so there were a time in that 1993 law that changed that first A provision, that first A article right here where it says a citizen of Grenada, semicolon, or
No, no, no.
did that change? Or did,
That I think remains the same because it is here in in the 2006 law as well, right?
right.
It is
Yeah.
there in the 2006 law as well. No,
So
what they would do is make sometimes slight amendments, but the law basically would remain the same. My thing again, I want to be very clear. I said 12 months for Grenadian citizens. That was incorrect.
right, right. But
Right?
what I'm saying,
What
what
the
I'm
law says,
yes,
you have to be ordinarily resident.
yes. No, I understand that. But when you look
Right.
at that particular clause, it is the same exact
Exact thing as what was there
right.
in 29,
So
sorry, in
even if
1993.
so even if you on Tuesday you was quoting 1996 or 2023,
No,
you would have said the same
no,
thing.
I was quoting 1993 law,
Okay.
right? The Primary Act. That's what
Okay.
I was quoting.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So again, guys, what we're saying right now, what Mr. Authur Pierre, supervisor of election, is saying right now, that there was a slight error that needed to be clarified. And that clarification is that if you are Grenadian, you cannot lose that birthright. You don't have to be here for that 12-month period prior to registration. You could come in at any time and register. Once your name appear on that registration, if it was not omitted in any way, and even if it was omitted, because if you stay 5 years out of the country, it could be taken out, right?
Yes.
But
Now let me just also say this. Let me also talk about that. I don't necessarily want to dwell on the 5 year issue,
right,
okay? But it says you cease to be ordinary resident in Grenada for a period exceeding 5 years, being a citizen of Grenada. Okay. What because we are doing continuous registration all the time. We are doing continuous registration. In 1993, I think they might have had enumeration. All right.
yes,
So if
yes,
you're out for 5 years and enumeration takes place, automatically you would not be placed on the list. Or if you were on the list prior to 1993, your name would be removed simply because you're not there.
okay,
Right? So that 5 year thing basically hinged on the issue of enumeration.
okay, all right. Someone was asking the question why people are being told that the machines are not working or the internet is not working, and they're having this problem when they go in to register.
Right. So we had some serious issues with our computerized system. Right. We have an internal computerized system, and it is linked. The server is here. It is linked to all the offices. If
Okay,
this server goes down, all the offices would go down. If there is no internet, we would not be able to communicate with offices outside of the main office. Okay, so there were challenges. There were challenges. All right, and we have overcome those challenges, and currently the system is up and running. And of course, the system that we have is an old system, so we are in the process of procuring a new voter registration system.
okay, all right. So we don't have the
And I don't want to go into that voter registration system tonight. I think that is a discussion that should be held on its own. So at some later date, I would indicate to you, and we would, really and truly talk about the procurement and the whole process of the new voter registration system.
okay. One other
Yeah.
question there, someone just hit me on WhatsApp there. How long do you think you was that interpretation was incorrect for? Like, was it a period of time in your tenure, or was it just, did you just figure out that that's what it was and you was wrong before, or how long
No,
you
no,
think
no,
you were wrong about this?
no. When I went into office, okay, remember persons were working there long before me, all right? Even persons out in the electoral offices and so were there working before me, all right? And they were basically going along based on what the laws that existed that dealt with the issues of registration. Okay, when I came in, there were some changes I felt that were needed to be made, to for clarity and so forth. So I started to tell them there are some things that you would require. Don't There are some persons that all they would do is just come with a passport, and they would not come. The law says that you need to verify your address where you are resident. All right. So some persons just come with a passport, and there's no verification for residence and so forth. So I would basically tell them, look, we need to either get a bill just to verify and say, okay, this is where you are, or the registration officers need to visit your location to ensure that you say, one, who you are and where you actually live. Okay, right. So that is some of the things that I've asked. There are persons again who might be Commonwealth citizens, and all they come with a Grenadian passport. All right. All I see in front of me is a Grenadian passport. All right. I know the law says you can come with a passport, come with a birth certificate, and come with a certificate of citizenship. Just come with a passport, and they figure that I should just. And I'm saying I just need some clarity. I need to understand, and I need to be assured. So I have asked. I have sometimes rejected, and I've said, look, just bring that, give me that information, and you should be okay.
Right. Someone, Deslin, is asking, could you ask him how long would you take to receive your ID after you register?
Right. They are saying to me that I am doing IDs pretty quickly. So when I get the application, sometimes I get 100 applications, and within a day, I do whatever I have to do, and we send it out. Right now, there are IDs that people need to collect. Right. So within a matter of 2 weeks, you are assured to get an ID as long as the registration officers and so come to the office to do that collection. You can be assured of getting your ID within 2 weeks.
Right. Okay. And we could rest assured that the folks in the office are being briefed as well, right? Because
yes, let me tell you. Let me just say this here. Let me just say this just to make it clear that we are not just in this office. We're talking about all the offices across the island. All right. We train, we discuss. All right. And what I would be embarking on is even further training with our officers. We hoping to get some lawyers to come in and really and truly air out some of the issues that persons just might be struggling with,
right.
including myself.
Yeah. How do and this is again, this is just me throwing this out there. How are you ensuring that there's no politicization of the registration process? That someone that works in your office is not nitpicking or not allowing certain persons to register based on the political affiliation? What kind of checks and balances are there?
Well, okay, first and foremost, when you go to an electoral office, the person that you would meet would be the assistant registration officer.
Right.
Okay? Their instruction is to take the information that you have, input it into the computer, all right? Ensure that it is verified, okay? There is now the registration officer that would look over that verification process. Huh? After that is done, all that information is sent to me. My business has nothing to do with politics or partisan politics. I look at the individual and I look at the information that is in front of me. That is what have been instructed to the assistant registration officers and to the registration officers. That is all they need to do. Okay, that is what their focus should be. Their business is not to say, well, I know John in the village and he is this and he is that and he's this color or that color. That is not their business.
So
And
they are
we emphasize that in almost every meeting.
right. So
Okay.
they are just there to do intake, data collection. That's it.
Yes, they're just there to do intake and to verify the information that is coming in, to
So what?
ensure that the person that's presented information before them, is clean, is perfect information, is information that can be used to assist them in the registration process.
So if that person, if anyone for that matter, meets someone at that registration office that is doing the job that you probably should be doing, which is to assess and make a determination, how could you report that? What are the checks and balance? Who they need to report that to so that that person could be looked into, so they don't have a
All right. So
problem.
if there is some issues, let's say by assistant registration officer or a registration officer that is onto it, that basically brings some biases or so, that can be reported to the head office. It can be reported to the head office.
What's the head out?
All
Where's the
right.
head officer? What's the phone number?
Ooh, boy, let me tell you something.
Okay. All right. No problem. No problem. So just furnish it to me at any point in time.
Yes. All
I
right. So
really
they
don't.
can report it. They can report it to the head office.
Okay. No
I,
problem.
I use cell phone. I use cell phone most of the times, and trust me,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
as a supervisor of election, I'm ashamed to say that I can't remember the number.
I
Right, but
think I
it's
remember.
again, it's on the website, and you should be able to find it there. All right.
Okay. What's the website they could go to for that clarification?
Parliamentary Elections Office,
Uh huh.
Grenada.
Parliamentary election. PO.
Right?
PO.
And you can find a lot of documentation there. You would see the picture of the former supervisor election. We're trying to get it changed pretty soon.
So
So
is it the full parliamentary
my
election
beautiful face
office?
will be there.
Is it
Say
the full
again?
parliamentary election office or peogrenada.com?
Yes, yes, POGuinea.com. Yes,
Okay, I
that
just
is
want to put
also
that there. That's the website
the
right here,
yeah.
peogrenada.com. You could go in there and check, and you could also check to see if your name is up here on that list as well, right?
Right. Yeah, I think yes. I think they should have that ability there.
Okay, all right. So we just want to make sure that the folks could go, they could check, they could basically see what's going on, get a number. If there are any issues, then you could file complaints, all of those stuff through the number, and I'll find that number, and when you
Yeah,
can.
it's my duty to get a number, so I'll get a number for you
Okay,
right now.
all right, no problem.
Right?
Once I get that, I will post it on Right Along Live because I've been getting nonstop calls. Last night I couldn't sleep, day before, so probably tonight I could sleep and so they could send me those calls to me
Right.
because
So the telephone number is
uh-huh
473
473 uh-huh
2357
uh-huh
or 473
473. Say that one more time.
Let
47. The
me
second
repeat
one.
it.
The second one.
473
Uh-huh
440
uh-huh uh-huh
2357
uh-huh
or 440
uh-huh
2698.
2698. All right, cool. So we have both numbers there. I want you guys to take that numbers down. You have the website, you have the number. So that's what you use. Any further clarification? And I said we wouldn't have you for the whole hour because I know you have other things planned. But
Yeah,
any
I do have family commitments. I really need to touch base with
absolutely, I
family.
appreciate. But I appreciate your time. Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
Now, there is a bit of concern that I have, and I would say it here. I Information received me. I received indicated that there were going to be some protest. All right, and members of staff became really and truly concerned. We have had two attacks in the electoral office, right, where our AROs were attacked, okay, and When they heard of protests, I don't know how true that is. They became really, really concerned. Now, Grenada is a very, very peaceful place, and these officers work hard. They have given their time. In fact, the offices are to be open from 9 to 5, and sometimes we require them to work, go the extra mile just to be able to register people. They work through their lunch hour when um, if persons are, come there during their lunchtime, they are served. Okay, so it is unfortunate, and certainly it is not something of good taste to have that kind of threat over persons who make the sacrifice for Grenadians and for all of us living here. All right. So I became very concerned. And the security and safety of the persons working in the offices is a great concern, and is one of my priority. So I wasn't happy to really and truly hear that.
Well, I
Okay.
believe
Let me,
the talk of protests um, was, I remember Kim articulated that yesterday, where he said that there's a particular young lady who was refused initially to be registered, and he's going to go back there with her to get registered. And if she's again refused to be registered, then he will call out for a protest. But
right,
if we're saying here and now that the information is clear that any Grenadian with valid documentation could register, you don't have to be living in the jurisdiction for 12 months prior to registration. I think that that is abundantly clear. And as long as there are no issues in registration for Grenadians who we don't want to see disenfranchised, especially a lot of the Grenadians that are living outside in the diaspora that feel like nobody's more Grenadian than them. They say the further away you go is the more Grenadian you become. And they don't want to be disenfranchised. They want to participate in the electoral process. So if that is not a problem, I don't see why anyone
yeah.
should protest.
But
And
I really want persons to pay attention to ordinarily resident. Okay, I need that to sink in and for it to be clearly understood. Okay, so because it is written in the law that you need to be ordinarily resident in Grenada to be registered. All right.
all right, thank you.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy to have come on. Okay, and I wish you all the best. You please, we will be starting a education campaign in September. We want to be able to get everything, all the staff members and everybody to be able to come and assist. We are not fully staffed as yet, so we're looking to get the full complement of staff to be able to really and truly drive that education campaign, because I think it is needed. It is needed, and it would allow Grenadians to make the process of elections easier. Okay. Again, my apologies for the confusion. My apologies for the misinterpretation. I should know better. Okay. And I felt that I needed to come back to really and truly explain and to try to make things clearer. Okay. I hope that we can continue to have the dialogue going forward, so that we get the education out there, and people are knowledgeable as to what to do. Okay. So thank you very much, Junior.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pierre. And use this platform, and this platform is here, and we are able
Yeah,
to.
there are other platforms certainly that have asked, and I will oblige to have further conversations with other persons. Certainly,
Yeah,
if I can use this platform, I will certainly reach out to you.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
again, Mr. Pierre. We appreciate you. for coming back on. Thanks again.
Yes, thank you so very much. Blessed night, everybody.
All right, thanks. Yes, all right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So here we have it. Mr. Authur Pierre came back with a clarification. Now, regardless of what you think or how you feel about Authur Pierre, I, as I said earlier, I have newfound respect for that man because of what he did. He came back, and it's not easy to say that you were wrong, right? Because this created a firestorm straight across. People was very, very upset. A lot of people was confused, not knowing or understanding why would they have to leave, or how could they leave the United States or Canada or wherever and have to reside for 12 straight months, or they will not be able to register 12 straight months before registration. And we're talking about Grenadian citizens. We're not talking about the CARICOM national here, because you are Grenadian first, right? So that semicolon and that or made a lot and a big difference. And he came back on and he clarified it. So hopefully, there will be no more misunderstanding. Hopefully that you get it. Hopefully everyone understands it. But still, if there is any more question, we're going to open up the phone lines for you. Give me a call, 718-701-5720, 718-701-5720. This is my number. Let us talk. And for the folks who call me, Lord have mercy, let me tell you, I am so sorry. I have some more calls to make. I got so much voicemail, voice note, and it was overwhelming. I really couldn't take every one of them. So there are people that I have to call back, people that I have to message. I didn't get around to it as yet. I apologize, because they wanted to find out about the same matter right here. But we did promise that Mr. Authur Pierre will be back, and he's back here today. So I'm happy that happened. But we're going to still open up the phone lines. If you have any questions, any further questions, please give me a call. Let's talk about it. Jackie O says she's still confused. How? Okay. All right. So for those of you who are still sort of confused about what was said, right? So I put it back up on the screen. We're saying that subject to Section 7, right? A person shall be entitled to register as an elector in any one constituency. If he, meaning one, it doesn't mean that only male, right? Let's make that other part clear. It doesn't mean just he as a male person. He, one. That's male and female. Everyone, right? Hold on, let me see if I can take that call real quick. Let me see if I can take that call real quick. Let me take that call. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, caller. Go right ahead. You're live. All right. Caller got cold feet. 718-701-5720. That's my number. You could call me back. Call us back. So again, okay, let me take that call again. Hold on. Let me answer that phone line. Answer that call. Caller, you live? Hello? 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 What? What happened? Someone playing with the line? All right, just check your data connection or check your connection, because I'm answering the phone and the phone just cutting off. Okay? All right, let me put it back up on the screen again. The clarification here is a citizen of Grenada. A citizen of Grenada. So if you are a citizen of Grenada, you are eligible to register. Now, keep in mind, right? Oh, there are some other specifications, as in the age of that Grenadian citizen, right, has attained the age of 18. So that Grenadian citizen must attain the age of 18. So if you are 12 years old, you cannot register to vote, right? But a Grenadian citizen, or once that person is a Grenadian citizen, they are entitled to vote, meeting other quotas. Quota is not the word, but let me take this call. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Hill from Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm just calling to say,
Uh-huh.
I mean, Mr. Pierre took a lot of ridicule a couple of days ago,
Yes.
but I think it's honorable of him to come in, apologize, say he made a mistake, and so on. So I think just the same way a lot of us did call in, we should be fair enough to call back and say, the apology is accepted because we all make mistakes. And I think that was very big of him. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that same thing I'm saying as well. It takes a big man to say I'm sorry, especially coming back on a platform where, Ridealong is very opinionated. And let me tell all you something, all these are difficult crowd to please, eh? But no, seriously, Ridealong is a tough crowd. Not difficult, but tough. You guys are tough crowd. And for him, knowing and understanding the scrutiny and coming back on here, it takes a big man to do that. And as I said earlier, I really appreciate that. Still open up the phone line, 718-701-5720. We're still here. Okay? All right. Ordinary citizen generally means at the place where a person's life is centered and where they regularly live as part of their normal routine. Okay? Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So listen, I am happy that we did, in fact, started this conversation, right? I'm happy that even with Mr. Authur Pierre coming on Monday and making that statement, because probably if we didn't have that conversation, we probably would have never had a clarification, right? And now we have a clarification, and a lot of people are more clear as to how they could register and the period of time and who could register. Now keep in mind that if you are not registered, you can't vote, right? If you are not registered, you cannot vote. So we're inviting Grenadians to visit Grenada, because you can't do it abroad, right? You can't do it from abroad. You have to be in Grenada. Or you might come for carnival, right? You may come for a funeral. You may come for some sort of event of sort. You may come for Monday night mass, right? You may come for Monday night mass. Go ahead and register. Okay? Make sure you do not disenfranchise yourself. Go ahead and register so you can be a part of the process. No matter where you are a Grenadian. Come into Grenada and register to vote for the next election. The next election is constitutionally due in 2027, 2 years. But the Prime Minister could call election anytime, right? So, constitutionally due in 2 years, but that call could make any time. So you want to be a part of this because election matters. It really does. Some people say, I just going to sit out this one. No, election matters. So much flies. All right, what documents you need to register. Jackio and everyone asking, I am going to put a link on Ridealong page that gives all the information as to the documents that are needed and the procedures. I'll put that full detailed link on the page so that there would be no further question as to the documentation that are needed. We got another caller on the line. Caller, live, where are you calling us from? Hello? Hello? All right. Hello, caller, are you there? Let me see if not something on my end. Oh, sorry, hold on. Caller, hello? Hello?
Hey, good night.
Oh, sorry, good night. It was on my end. Yes, caller. Sorry about that. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good night, Junior. Calling from New York. Respect Mr. Pierre for coming and clearing the air. But I had an issue that happened. So came from New York, went to get registered with a bud paper, sat in front of the officer handing paper, and in front of the officer, whole bud paper. And you know how our bud paper, it's folded and it's easy to get torn. The wind blow. And the bud paper rip in two in front of the officer. So it was opened in front, handing the bud paper, the wind blew, the bud paper ripped, and I was denied. They were like, oh, nope, your bud paper, you have to come with a proper bud paper. And it's like, it happened in front of you. She's like, nope, I can't make out the middle of it. I'm like, it happened in front of you. Anyway, that's one. Two, another issue I wanted, we need to revamp some of our electoral laws in Grenada. For example, a citizen of a Grenadian by birth who has acquired U.S. citizenship, are they allowed to offer themselves up for public office? Because I know from other Commonwealth countries like Canada, if a Grenadian acquire Canadian citizenship, they could offer themselves up for public office. But when it comes to like the U.S., so there's some laws and even maybe the language that confused Mr. Pierre. There's just some stuff as it relates to our laws and that just needs to change. And why I raise the issue about Grenadian who has acquired United States citizenship, and that was a whole big thing with the former Prime Minister Dr. Kit Mitchell.
Right.
But now, the former Prime Minister of the UK, David Cameron, he was a Prime Minister in the UK from a Commonwealth country, but he was born in the US. So I don't see how a Grenadian citizen born in Grenada, moved to the US, acquire, and because it's not a Commonwealth country, they cannot run for political office. I think there's just some rules and laws and stuff that we need to revamp. But thanks, Mr. Pierre. And as I said, the incident with the bud paper being torn, I think some of the officers registering, I'm not sure if they're making up their own rules and their own laws and making up stuff as they go. But I'm also grateful that he gave a number that people could call and complain if there's issue.
Right, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate you. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Flies all over this place. I don't know. Is the light? Is the light? And I'm thinking, I'll be here, give you guys a nice view and all that stuff. But Lord have mercy, I can't take the flies, the mosquitoes, so I'm gonna have to go inside. Right? All right, guys. Yeah. Let me big up and thank everybody who. Wow, this is overwhelming. Let me big up and thank everyone who have already registered to play with Amazing the Experience. The Monday Night Mass, Amazing the Experience. Now let me say this, guys. Just today alone, we had so many requests for registration for this Monday Night Mass band because we're doing it different, right? The idea is we're taking this Monday night experience on a boat where people would ordinarily parade down the street on the truck, we are taking the band on the boat. Now, a little different, but it would be very unique. Now, you can get your packages. The package, once you purchase your package, you get your boarding pass for the boat. And we have some of the most beautiful design outfits this year. It is out of this world. It is beautiful. So, if you have not yet purchased your package and you're going to be in Grenada, get your package tonight, because probably tomorrow there will be none. Trust me when I tell you. This is moving really, really, really fast, and we want you to be a part of the experience. This is Ride. This is Ridealong. This is Ride, and you have to be a part of this. You are a true rider, and you have to be aboard the Ecstasy, and that's the boat, the Ecstasy. It is such an amazing boat. You're going to have such an amazing time. Now, people have been asking and querying the price of the packages. Let me first say, guys, there are various prices. There are prices that range from $260 EC to $1,200. Honestly, we have a section called Naked. And Naked is body paint. Only 10 people that will be in that section. But we have different prices for our sections. If you can't afford the $1,200 package, don't argue with people that could afford it, or they feel like they want to play in that section. Leave them. If you could afford the $200 package, or if you can't afford the package, but what I'm saying is, I have a whole thread, a whole post on the page, guys, people arguing about the price. Don't argue about the price, because have you argued about JetBlue? Do you call JetBlue and argue with JetBlue when they tell you that the price to come to Grenada is sometimes $800 one way? No, that's the price. If you go to the car dealership and you're buying a car and they have the price of the car, it's either you take the car, you don't take the car, or you get a cheaper car. Point blank simple. So, guys, please don't argue, sit there wasting your time arguing about the price and telling me that could buy so much books. Yeah, and buy books. That's fine, no problem. But this is a curated experience, guys. It's not only a boat ride. It's not only a Monday night experience. It is everything. We're talking about one of the packages have personal security. You have your own personal security, your own butler. Imagine that. You get picked up from your home. You get dropped off back to your home. You get tuk-tuk excursion. You get e-bike tours. You get water bike tours. You get jet ski. All of that in your package. So it's a curated experience. It's not only Monday night mass. It's an experience, a holistic experience. All right? So, all you don't argue about the price. And riders, don't argue with people who are arguing about the price. All right? Because I see this back and forth. People saying, it's me who bought Jesus sleepers, all kind of thing. What? Anyway, guys, get your packages for Monday Night Mass. It is simply amazing. We'll be right back.
Looking for the ultimate island experience? Hop on the Ride Tuk-Tuk Rum Punch Tour and explore Grenada like never before. Feel the tropical breeze, sip on authentic Caribbean rum punch, and cruise through Grenada's stunning scenery in our unique and fun tuk-tuks. It's the perfect blend of adventure and island flavor. Book your unforgettable tour now at ride.gd or call 473-422-1011. Don't just see Grenada, experience it with Ride Tuk-Tuk Rum Punch Tours today.
Hi, I want $10 on Playway. $20 backup on pick 3 and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes, multi-X, all of them.
Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X. You cannot go wrong.
Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your playway, daily pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation. Enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Ridealong Live.
Ridealong live, worldwide. Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people, we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host, we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island